Good morning. It's July. We are mid-July and we finally, there is sun. There is growth. I'm going to show you what's finally growing in the garden. I think we're about a month delayed from like our usual. Everything's behind about a month and it's growing. So this feels like end of June, maybe very beginning of July. Definitely not mid to late July. But it's really exciting. Everything's finally growing. Let's check it out. The poppy patch just burst into bloom. Seriously, like yesterday, one of them was bloomed, and now all of them. Lovely, lovely. Yes, these are a breadseed type poppy, so they're an opium poppy. They are really lovely. The seeds are wonderful, nice. Oops, yeah, very delicate, nutty, delicious. Let's see, we're starting to put on some nice pods right there. These will swell quite a bit and love nice pods. And I actually save the pods, the outside of the pods, for kind of a pain relieving tea, and then I save the seeds for culinary applications. The middle bed here has pretty much gone to seed. If you guys remember earlier in the year, this was my kind of polyculture bed. I had the hoop house on this, and I had all of my Asian greens going really early in the spring in this middle bed. And they did really well, but they are definitely all gone and have gone to seed. These beautiful tall seed stalks are the remaining. These were the bok choys that I left to go to seed. And then the chamomile is just abundant. It's doing marvelously. So the chamomile is doing great. It is taking over this corner. There's some bachelor buttons in the middle there. Again, these beautiful pods are the bok choy that has gone to seed. So with bok choy, with Asian greens, you want to select from at least 6 of your healthiest and slowest bolting plants. So that's what I have in here. I have 6 of my best bok choy that I let go to seed. And my carrot, you guys remember I had that, a couple oxheart carrots I had left to go to seed. And they are putting on just these really beautiful blooms. They're lovely right now. Beautiful carrots in bloom. I have one cabbage that is just hanging in there. He's doing pretty well. Maybe just barely trying to put on a head. This is a Red Express cabbage, and he's doing pretty well for me. It's my first year trying to grow cabbage, and I got a late start, and then with our weird weather, it just wasn't maybe the best growing conditions for him. But he's hanging in there. He's trying. So I have a whole nother tray of radishes started for the fall, or cabbages started for the fall. These are radishes. These are my 18-day French breakfast radish that I let go to seed. I've got, again, 6 that I just left to go to seed. And I plan to use that excess of radish seed, because this is going to be a lot of radish seed, to sprout for the chickens during the winter. So we'll see how that goes. But that's kind of the idea right now, is that I'll let these go to seed and I'll have a ton of radish seed that I can sprout out for the chickens during the winter. Okay, this lettuce. This is the little gem lettuce. This one is one that I have cut and it has come back. And this right behind it, I don't know if you can really see the difference here in growing habit. This more upright one is one that I haven't yet cut. And it's almost like a romaine heart in the middle. It's really nice and crisp. This is our favorite lettuce. I've grown a lot of different varieties over the last couple of years. And this is the one that we will save seed from and this will just be our main lettuce. This will be the one that we really grow. It's everybody's favorite. It does really well. It handles the heat a lot better than like the Tom Thumb was our other one that we had grown for a couple years that we liked quite a bit, but it's a softer lettuce and it does just bolt really fast for me. So yes, little gem. I think I got these from Baker's Creek also, but it's just a really nice, I think they call it a butter crunch or a butter head type. But it's really nice, very crisp. It's slow to bolt. It comes back if you cut it really well. There's one that I cut really recently. is just starting to come back. Yeah, anyway, it's a great one. It's my favorite. And then nasturtiums, the tall trailing nasturtiums, I'm starting to train them up the trellis with the peas. Oh, it was not a good year for peas with all of the rain and the flooding. Most of them just rotted in the ground, but a few of them are making a comeback. And so we've got a couple peas here. Another radish going to seed. They make these really lovely little dainty white flowers. Oh, and all my Japanese red mustard is bolting now. So I'm gonna try to plant another wave of that as well, because it was just really beautiful. And I missed it in its prime before it started bolting as well. Some cilantro. Basil is just starting to think it might make an appearance, and some oregano. The Egyptian onions are happy. They are always happy. I think no matter the weather, whatever the world throws at them, the Egyptian walking onions they're happy. They are pretty hard to displease. Let's see. Oh, the strawberries, the ever-bearing strawberries are really coming on. They're doing pretty well. Let's see. This is most of the strawberries are right here. I'm planning to move this patch this fall. I'll thin this all out, and I think I'm going to relocate these. Last year, I did the Russian red kale, and it has gone to flower for me this year. It overwintered really nicely. Even in the 2 feet of snow, it did really well, and it's putting on these nice, slim, dark purple pods. So it is also in the brassica family, and the way it goes to seed is really similar to that of the bok choy. And they don't cross-pollinate. I triple-checked all of the brassicas that I've got going to seed at the same time. I was a little nervous what would cross and what wouldn't, but the bok choy and the kale will not cross, so that was fine to have going at the same time. Some more little cilantro going to seed. I actually mostly grow cilantro for the coriander, so I am not displeased to see all of this bolting. That's great. I'll need to plant another succession soon. My first try at broccoli, I have 2 surviving broccolis. This one is putting on a little tiny head. My little chicks thought it would be hilarious to crawl through the fence and eat 2 of my broccolis. So I only have 2 remaining, but that is okay. And interplanted with them are a bunch of carrots in the understory there. And this is another one of those Red Express cabbages, but he's really sad. The little baby chicks kind of got to him too, so we will see. He's not the happiest. And the Jerusalem artichokes, they're always happy. It's pretty hard to knock these guys down too. They are pretty tough to displease. I've got hardneck garlic in this bed as well, and we've got 2 leaves used on most of them. It looks like 2 leaves are dying back, so another couple weeks and these will be ready for harvest. Here's a look at the mini orchard. All of the trees are doing pretty well. We've got, well, my peach has a little bit of rust spot, and my apple got a little bit sad during all of the flooding. He was in kind of a low spot, I realize now, so I'm not sure. This is the apple. I'm not really positive what I will do to help him, but I'm thinking about it. And he's not doing terrible, but just not quite as thrilled as some other things. And his onion companions are doing great though. Seriously, guys, these, if you don't have Egyptian walking onions, get you some. They're awesome. So you can eat the green parts as green onions. They're actually my husband's favorite. And look, these are all putting up little green onion shoots as well. And these little bulbs here are going to continue to swell. They'll be a small onion, and you can use that like an onion, like a shallot. And then actually the bulbs down at the base, the roots, a decent sized onion that you can harvest as well. And they're so vigorous and hardy. It's the only way I'll grow onions. All right, here we go. This is the russet Northac potatoes from Grand Trenton Organics. Russet, Austrian Crescent. They're all starting to bloom. They have the loveliest little pale purple flowers. Corn and some oats that sprouted from some of my chicken bedding. So this is all painted mountain corn that I saved from my own seed last year. And it is finally starting to perk up and do well for me as well. It was really sad for a while there because, again, it was just so cold and so wet. But it's perking up. It's starting to look great. And then this is the corner that really needs to be weeded. I haven't quite made it to this corner yet, but I will. It's being taken over a smidge by weeds, but the corn is still doing great. Still doing great. And then this is kind of the veg patch out here, the non-staple crop patch. I've got kale in the back that did get munched by the deer, but it's making a resurgent. So it's kale and then rutabagas, and I actually have some of the mini bok choy, which I was out of town visiting with family, and it all bolted on me before I could harvest it. So say lovey, that will be okay. I will just enjoy the bounty of seeds that I'm going to get from that. That'll be great. Mango beets, red mango beets, and then another row of oxheart carrots here that I had interspersed with radishes, but the radishes have since been harvested. So all the way down here. And then here it switches to the Parisian carrots, which I am hopeful will start showing some bulb formation soon. Right now I have nice tops, but no bulbs. Dill, sunflowers, some sugar beets. And then here I get into some dry beans. These are the coconnier dry white beans. Some winter radishes right here. I just got these in. These are my China rose radishes. Not sure if I can squeeze a couple of these in anywhere else. I might try to find room for some more and just see how that goes. This will be my first time doing a winter type radish specifically for winter harvest, and so I'm excited about that. Here we have the French fingerling potatoes and a row of Yukon Gold in the front. So French fingerling, Yukon Gold, some more beets, and a little bit of, this is a little bit of the remaining mustard. It's starting to not be so happy in the heat, but it's kind of hanging in there. This one hasn't bolted yet, at least. Beets. Summer squash, finally starting to show some growth. Summer squash. No blooms, but that's okay. Someday I will have some summer squash. Someday. And let's see, last view over here in the farthest bed, that's a couple rows of blackberry fingerlings, and it has some black cocoa beans planted with it. And this is an Amarosa fingerling, again with some black cocoa beans interplanted. This is the squash patch. I've got, these are the Burpees Butterbush, and it is an open pollinated. It is heirloom. It's not an old heirloom. It's pretty recent. It was a Burpee hybrid, but it has been enough generations now that it is true to type. And so I should be able to save seeds from that and start selecting for the genetics that I like. And I'm excited about that. But again, still, so far, I'm not seeing any blooms on those. My buttercup squash, however, is putting on lots of blooms. I've got several little female fruits on my buttercups. So that is very exciting. The buttercup is doing really well. Two more of the Burpees Butterbush butternuts over here. Again, they're starting to leaf out and do really well, but no blooms yet. And my Gallo Dezine, I think is how you say that. They are putting on lots of male blossoms, but I am just now getting my very first little teeny tiny female blossoms. So I've got a bag on this because I really want to select seeds on this one. So this one is bagged, so no pollinators are getting in there. And I'm very excited. That is pretty much the whole garden. Thanks for tagging along, and I will update again next month and maybe have some harvest update. I did think I had a little potato blight spot and I panicked a tiny bit, but I gave it to God. I'm praying about it. Can't freak out about every little thing. God is good. He provides for us. He takes care of us. So you guys just get out there and grow something. Don't get hung up on the details. Even if you have struggles, if you have pests, if you have disease, you're probably going to get something out of it, whether it's a life lesson or some food. So go out and enjoy nature and have a great day.